Hey. All right, we're dancing in. Welcome to Chick Chat.
KC.
Neither one of us are in KC, but we're still dancing in. Are you guys dancing with us? If you've joined us, say hello and tell us where you joined us from. Because neither one of us is joining us from KC, eh?
No.
Eh?
Canada?
Yeah. Are we remote tonight? Where are we joining us from?
I am in Houston.
Houston. Never been to Houston. Yeah, how is Houston?
Not as warm as I expected.
Oh, it's not. But warmer than Kansas City today, right? Am I right?
Yes, very much warmer than KC today, but not as warm as I expected it to be in Houston.
Awesome. Hey, Kim. How are you? She's from Crystal River, Florida. What's the weather like there, Kim? Man, must be nice. It's cold here today, too. It's supposed to be colder tomorrow because we get the little cold front that's coming in on Kansas City tomorrow. So anyway, so we have some interesting topics this evening, don't we?
We do. We
do.
do.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be cold there too. What? No way. 46. Oh, this cold. I can't deal. I cannot.
Oh.
I guess I just need to move like way south, like Brazil or something.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's there.
So tonight, my subject matter, we're going to talk about mine first, I guess. And we're talking about navigating empathy and boundaries. And I've heard a lot in the last couple of weeks, talking to different people. People don't know the difference between empathy and codependency, and how to what is the difference between that? Like, we want to care for people, we want to be empathetic with them, we want to be supportive, but what does that look like? How do we differentiate between, are we doing it out of codependency or empathy? Do you know the difference, Heather?
I mean, yeah, but I want to hear your explanation because I want to see if it's we read the same book, so I want to make sure we're on the same.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and flash up there the difference. Do any of you know the difference? And hi, Teresa. I wanted to say hello to her. So what is it? I know that, codependency is thrown out there. Empathy is, thrown out there. Narcissism is thrown out there. Those are kind of buzzwords right now in the coaching field, the psychology field. So what does that mean? Am I codependent if I'm helping someone, or am I empathetic? Which one is it? And then how do we put a boundary on it? So I'm going to flash up here a great slide that I think gets to the bottom of it. So here we go. Codependency is feeling someone else's problem as your own, rescuing people from their circumstances, being controlled by other people's emotions, and helping others in order to feel appreciated. So I just want to go over that for a second. So feeling someone's problem as your own, that to me is like, you, as soon as the person starts to tell you what their problem is, you interject your own emotions and you interject your own circumstances into that. And then, of course, rescuing people from their circumstances, not allowing them to actually get out of their situation without you doing something to save them. And also being controlled by other people's emotions, meaning that if they're sad, you're going to try to make them happy, because if you don't make them happy, then you're going to be sad, that. And so that's what I see there. helping others in order to feel appreciated. Now, I am a former codependent. And so I just want to go over that. I absolutely was a codependent. I learned those things pretty early on. And, it was because of my household. So in my household, if my parents, if they didn't feel well or whatever, I felt like it was my fault. Like I took that on as myself. So I became the person that tried to fix the emotions. Like I'd be like practically doing a dance to, try to make the person happy. And if they never were happy, then I would go into my room and be sad. So I learned that pattern very early on and decided that, I could never show a sad me or an angry me or an upset me. I always had to be the happy me, the joyful me. And that was a pattern that, really ruled my life for a long time. And it also, made me step into an ego place of, well, I'm only happy if I'm appreciated for doing things for others, like I'm only happy if there's appreciation for it. It wasn't because I was, and I cared about the people, don't get me wrong. Of course, I cared about the situations, but I let it rule my life to where it kind of ruined my own life. I wasn't taking care of my situations and my family the way I should have and could have. So I know you relate, Heather. So codependent, us,
Independent.
us ex codependents
There we go.
unite. Yes, ex codependents. So, I mean, what were you in those four areas? I mean, where did you see yourself?
I don't know. I think I was just more of a people pleaser. So always, didn't want to tell anyone what I really felt or how I thought or whatever, just to be whatever they wanted me to be. So
Right.
mine was a little. I mean, again, my household, there was 2 different households, so I was somebody different in each house. So I
Right.
knew what my role was in each particular place.
Right. Right. So I think we struggle because we're thinking, well, I'm just a caring person, but I'm gonna flash that up there again to show you what empathy looks like. What does empathy look like? Now, empathy, which is healthy, right, is putting, putting words to what someone feels. Like say somebody, can't explain how they're feeling. You're helping them to go through that. Showing tender concern for their distress, letting others be responsible for their life, and accepting people with no strings attached. Like if I help you, I don't expect something in return. Like it doesn't work like that. So that's what empathy looks like. Now, the reason I was talking about putting a boundary, and I think once we define putting boundaries on things, then kind of where you're at in codependency or empathy. So, we talk about boundaries a lot, and I get lots of questions all the time about boundaries. What is a boundary? How do we define it? Everybody's situation is different. Depends on with whom, what relationship you have. I don't think it differs, right? What boundaries go with what. Like with our kids, as adults, we have a different boundary than we did when they probably were younger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it changes. It changes. So, um, I think people really struggle with putting boundaries on things because they're so afraid of losing the people in their lives. And, like you said, being a people pleaser. So, you don't put boundaries on things that you should. Um, Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
What's up, kid?
And as adult children with their parents, right? Putting a boundary. You can discuss something. Yeah, yeah, I know. It's your kid. And it's true. It doesn't feel good at first. It's uncomfortable to put a boundary sometimes. Well, not sometimes, all the time. It is uncomfortable, especially if you're coming out of codependency and people pleasing. You're like, "Oh, this feels wrong." Because you all your life you've tried to make people happy, and then you didn't take care of yourself. You stepped away from self-care and guarding your own feelings and guarding things that you should have, I mean, my favorite saying was, "Oh, I'm an open book." Well, you're right. I was an open book, but to my own detriment. You can be an open book too much. It's okay to be an open book and be relatable, but you don't have to actually, you don't have to actually share every single detail of your life with everyone. I mean, that's where you put up the boundaries. And if there's a toxic person in your life, you put up those boundaries to protect yourself. And I see that a lot now on memes about, you don't have access to me like you did before. If you become a toxic person in someone's life, you get to put up that boundary and say, you're allowed, this far, but you don't have private access, to everything I'm feeling, doing, etc. And I used to think I had to be an open book so that I could be relatable and liked. And so that was hard. That was really hard. So now, a boundary to me looks like this. I can say, right now I don't feel like we can discuss this. Like if there's a disagreement, I can go, I don't feel like I want to discuss that right now, instead of going through the argument, right? Like if I can actually step away from something that I don't want to discuss, without, and that's putting up the boundary, and I know that other people take that wrong. They're like, oh, you're.
Well, they think the boundary is about them, and it's not about them. The boundary is my safety. It has nothing to do with you.
Right. And it makes people, uncomfortable, and, a friend of mine was talking about how someone was asking her how much her shoes cost. Like she was somewhere and right. And it was an odd thing for them to even ask. But at the same time, she was like, well, that's not really, I don't feel like I need to share that with you, just because you ask the question and that person got really offended. That person was offended. Like, why, what's wrong with telling me where you bought them and how much you paid for it? She goes, because that's my personal business. Like, yeah, I lost your sound there for a minute.
Am I back?
There you go. You're back. Okay. So, you're allowed. I mean, you are allowed to put a boundary on a conversation. You're allowed to put, not everybody gets to ask you questions that you have to answer. You can actually say, I don't really feel like discussing that right now, or, or anything like that. And it just makes people so uncomfortable to say that. And if the person that you're talking to, if that truly offends them, then you're right. You should have put a boundary to it, right?
If it offends you, bye.
If it offends you, then that person doesn't respect your boundaries, that person doesn't respect you. You have to be really careful, to not to see who those people are. If they're offended about that, then I mean, they could be offended because before they had free access to you and now you're putting up that boundary and now they're like, well, what happened? Why won't you, share this with me? And you can be honest and say, well, I feel like, I'm at a place in my life that I don't have to share that with you. I don't need to share that with you, and I think it's a hard conversation. And that's what I mean. That doesn't mean you don't care about that person. That means that you care about your preservation, your self-preservation. You don't have to, share every single thing. And some people, have different places in your life, I have an inner core of people, and then I have another peripheral, and I look at it as like as a circle, some are in the middle there that I'll share everything with, like Kim, she's one that I would share anything with, but not everybody has the same access points, and
Right.
it's okay. And I think we've made it so much that everybody has to know what's going on. And, it isn't needed. I'm sorry if you're hearing I have cars out here. They have muscle cars all around me. So anyway, I don't know if you hear that or not, but, it's like I said, it's okay for you to shut it down. You don't have to have a conversation about it every single time. Let's
Right.
see. Teresa says, I had someone ask me how much I contribute to the house bill. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, that's just inappropriate. Huh?
Said who pays for her manicures? I do.
That is nobody's business. Like, what? They take personally that sometimes has nothing to do with them at all, right? I mean, there's some things that there's some things we're embarrassed about, right? Things that we're like, I don't really want to share that because, I might be embarrassed about that, or I'm not feeling great about my decision making and that process. Yeah, some will call that disrespect. Yeah, they think if you don't share everything with them, they're disrespecting you, or you're disrespecting them. And that is just that's not correct, So what you can do is to reframe those boundaries. It's going to be uncomfortable, but have that candid conversation. Say, listen, I'm finding in my life that I'm working on things and I'm working on myself. So I'm going to be putting up boundaries, certain boundaries, and I mean, if you feel like you can talk freely about it with them or not, or you don't have to at all, or you just put the boundaries up as needed, and just, as it comes. So what do you think about that, Heather?
I mean, I used to have a big problem with boundaries. Like there were none at all. And
Right.
now pretty clear. And if it bothers you, then I'm okay, cool, bye. Like I don't deal with it. Like I don't let people persuade me to, to go back on what I say. But I think
Right.
that also goes back to what you talked about of not being codependent anymore. Working on that, doing the work.
Right.
And I've gotten to the point, which we'll go into more on the next topic. I just don't care what other people think anymore.
Right.
I spent
Right.
so much
Well, here
life
we got a cheers on that one. There we go.
right about
Oh, I can't say that.
cheers.
Cheers.
Here's Sandy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, right? But we're not.
Whoops. Whoops.
I just have
Well,
gotten to that I don't care. I mean, aside from since my kids watching, I care what my kids say, obviously, or what they think. But I mean, it doesn't. I do it anyway, even if I don't.
well, framing a boundary, I mean, it is like we're talking about. It's really respecting yourself, doing some self-care, and that doesn't mean that, you're not that person isn't gonna have access to you all forever. It just means that maybe you're working on some things that you need to do, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I respect that nowadays. Like before, I used to be like, oh, why are they mad at me? Are they upset with me? What did I do? What can I do? And I call them and I text them, hey, you haven't returned my call. Are you okay? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I don't do that
Yep.
anymore.
Me either.
Because I don't do that anymore. Because if they've put up that boundary, I'm going to respect their boundary. I'm going to respect their wishes on that. Like, okay, it's okay for them to put space between me and them because maybe they're going through something, and they, not that, I used to be like, well, I can help you, but I can help you through that, right?
Uh-huh.
I can help you. What do you mean? You're not going to allow me to know what's going on. Now I go, you know what? I'm respecting them. I love them and I know that they love me, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yep.
So, yep. Teresa, she used to care, take me or leave me. I mean, I think that when we turn certain ages, I mean, I wished I would have been like this way sooner. I think I would have saved myself a lot of heartache if I had learned this lesson sooner on how to
all
respect
the
myself. Hmm.
I tell all the time, like, don't wait till 40, 50 to figure this out. Like, listen to what I'm telling you and figure it out now so you save yourself a lot of crap, you know?
That's right. That's right. Well, like, okay, so let's see. It seems a fine line from helping others and codependency. And that's why I put up there what's the difference between having empathy and codependency. And that's why I really, if you missed the beginning, of that card, that was really important to you can care about somebody and you can help them to an extent, right? But, you know, it is a fine line, if you've put some conditions on them helping you or you receiving the help. I mean, that's different than, always rescuing the person, like somebody that has an addiction issue and you keep on saving them, they're never going to get the help that they need if you keep saving them, you know. I mean,
I don't know.
and oh yeah, no, me either. But I mean, I think that's it. Um, Okay, biblically, women were made to be helpers, so it's hard to force ourselves out of that role sometimes. Yes, but we're supposed to be helpers, but not solvers. Helpers, not solvers. Helping is, hey, I'm here for you, if you need me to talk about it. Say, like in biblical times, obviously they always had food issues, right? Like they had a lot of food, like giving somebody some bread. I mean, that's different. I mean, helping, we are made to be helpers. Like we were created that way, right? With Adam and Eve, we're supposed to be the helpmate. Well, we're supposed to help, but we're not supposed to save and rescue and all those things, and the other person isn't supposed to do that for us either, even though we're the helpers. They're not supposed to be saving us as well. We have one savior, right? If we're going to talk about the Bible, there is a savior. Keeping our eyes on God and his provision and his peace and all of that is going to help you to, is going to help you with those boundaries. Actually, it's going to help you to be clear on, hey, I have a savior. His name is Jesus.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah, y'all need Jesus. I didn't notice it till now. That's awesome.
Earlier, we were in the Mexican restaurant, and my friend, we were like, actually, today it means Jesus. We all need Jesus.
Y'all need Jesus. Well, I think we do. And I think that's where it's gotten out of whack. We look to other people to save us when that is not, if we're going to go biblically, that's not biblical. You know, we can help people, but we don't have to rescue them. And if I'm going to help someone, I'm going to always point back to why, my why of helping them. If I'm going to assist them with money or whatever it is, I'm going to say, hey, I feel blessed that God blessed me with this so I can bless you, right? So I still look back to God to be the blessing in that, to saying, this is a hand from him, not from me. Like I'm not your provider, your soul, helper, savior. So anyway, what do you think about that, Caitlin? So I'd like to know what your comment is after that. So anyway, so that's why I just want to talk about. I feel like like Kim was saying, it is a fine line in figuring out, if I help somebody, is that codependent? Am I being a codependent? But you're being a codependent if the person that you're putting the boundaries up with is offended. So that word offended, if they're offended that you've put some sort of boundary up between you, then maybe that you've had a codependent relationship with them. It's a good indicator. And not always, but it's a good indicator. If the person's just used to always getting what they want and you're not filling that bill and they're offended about that, that's different. That might be in their issues and their, that might be part of their personality. So, but you don't have to fix it, right? If
Right.
they're offended, nowadays, if I feel like if I offend somebody, I'm like, well, they need to bring it to me and not talk to others about it, right? They need to bring it to me. If I've offended you, you bring it to me, talk to me about it, and then maybe we can work that out. And if you're still offended by something, maybe it is because I've I used to be codependent with you, like like it could, and I would explain that, right? I'd be like, yeah, we used to have this cute codependent thing, and I've really worked on myself, and I don't do that anymore. So that's not part of my identity anymore. I mean, I used to think, well, but I'm caring, I'm a good person. And that was part of the problem. It was actually part of the problem. You know, you yeah, we do things out of unhealthiness sometimes. And it can look good. It can look like a good thing. It can, but if it's overindulgent, I was helping everybody at one time. I was just out, you know, I was at the church 9 days a week. Yeah, there's not 9 days, right? I was doing so much that I thought I'm helping, but this is good, but it wasn't good. It was very actually unhealthy. The way I was trying to get appreciation and the way I was trying to get grace. I was trying to earn my salvation. That's a whole nother ball game.
How,
But anyway, huh? That's
how'd
for
that work?
another show. You can't earn
Exactly.
your salvation. So anyway, so that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, so yeah, we're closing in on off of my subject already. So thank you guys for sharing. I really appreciate it. And what are your takes on, your boundaries and how you can healthily, set those and not, and not worry that you're gonna upset the other person. The other person might be upset for a minute, but if they love you and if they're, if they see the bigger picture, they won't be mad long. Just saying. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So our next subject is taking a leap of faith
Or a really long drive.
or a long drive of faith. Okay. I can't wait to hear this. Okay. So Heather has her topic of leap of faith, and I'm so intrigued.
You're intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
So
Here,
my
we're going to
question
cheers on it first. Let's cheers on it. Cheers.
is on my phone. There we go.
Cheers.
So my question was, have you ever done something that was a complete leap of faith that people would think was crazy and you did it anyway? I already know your answer, but so
Of
as
course.
my child is to this thing. So my leap of faith was I'm in Houston because I met someone a week ago yesterday. And on our second date, he asked me to go to Houston with him. And I said, I can't go to Houston with someone that my kids have never met. And so I called my kids and we went over and he met them. And then we went out Thursday, Friday, and we left Saturday to come to Houston for a week, almost a week.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my first thought was he might be an axe murderer or
Right. Serial killer. Yeah.
yeah. And that has not been the case. And I've literally had like the best time ever.
There
So
you go.
what would you say? Like, what was your leap of faith?
Well, Teresa just shared hers. She left her life in Toronto and got married in Virginia. That is, yeah. I know her story a little bit, so maybe she can tell more about that. But that's a leap of faith. I mean, leaving your whole life behind. I've done that twice, 3 times, 4. No, I've moved a lot. I've done leaps of faith a lot, actually, in my life, and they haven't always turned out right. I mean, we're gonna be honest. Like, this is honest. Like, hasn't always turned out well, but sometimes the risk is worth the lesson, and it helps you with your confidence I think going forward, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Yep, she left her life in Virginia. Yeah, now she's in Florida. I know, I miss you. Anyway. But that's okay. I like to visit her in Florida. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
You can't have the naysayers. Like you can't, you have to like, everybody's like, well, why? Why? Well, it's your life. You get to decide. The only person that you can control in this life is yourself.
Right.
You can't even control, even when if you're taking a leap of faith with another person, you can't control the other person. The only person you can control is you, you know, and how you're going to deal with it. Yeah. If you don't try, you'll never know. That there you go. If you don't try, you'll never know.
That's right. But
There's no
sometimes risk is worth the lesson, and sometimes the risk is worth the reward.
right. Right. And as long as you have that mindset that I'm going to learn something through this, whether it goes this way or this way, and as long as you're open minded to it could go this way or this way, and you're not in some la la land of, your leap of faith really has a leap. You're leaping towards something, you're landing still, right? You're still landing with that leap. You're not in the air the whole time,
Well,
you
my
hit the
travel
ground.
is like one of the hardest things to do. So my thought was it's either going to go really well and we'll keep going, or it's going to go really bad and we'll be done.
Right.
That simple.
Yeah. There's lots of quotes out there about leaps of faith like this. Nothing ventured, nothing gained,
Right.
but I mean, there's tons of quotes out there, and I'm kind of feeling that way right now myself, in the business venture, like I'm staying safe, and I'm staying safe. I'm staying safe. And sometimes that's that's detrimental to you if you wait too long. If you wait too long and don't take the risk, you don't know, that, I
Right.
mean, go big or go home, all those quotes apply, you know.
That's what I think.
That's right.
I talked about being a people pleaser, being codependent, 4 years ago when I read the book and went, oh shit. And now I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going. Like, I'm just going to go do this. And that's
That's
like a
right.
huge transformation, right? Which is what we're all been talking about for the last however many weeks on this show.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I hope. It's all about, like we're talking about setting boundaries, leaps of faith, all of these things. Your self-esteem is tied to that, by the way. Your confidence is tied to that. 2.5, yep, she couldn't be happier, no regrets. Right. I mean, you don't know if you don't do it, you know, you just don't, you don't know. And I mean, I'm at a place in my life, I kind of, that I'm like, well, I don't have much more time to waste.
Girl,
I don't have any more time to waste. You know,
that
I
old.
mean, I mean, I overthink some things. I mean, and that's being transparent. Like I'm overthinking lots of things. I'm overthinking. Instead of taking that leap of faith. I'm kind
I
of
think
being,
we somewhere along the lines
huh?
from when I met you till now. We've switched somewhere.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know, because everything, and now
It's
I'm like,
that magical 50 age, I think. But
yeah.
yeah, now I'm a little bit older now, so I've come down off the mountaintop there.
Get back up here.
Yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, why not? I mean, as long as it's not hurting your bottom line and it isn't hurting you physically or mentally, you know, um, if you have the support system, I mean, there's lots of things for you to take that leap of faith. What is it that you had to have in place? Confidence, self-esteem, support system. I mean,
Truck.
you have a good, huh?
A truck and gas.
A truck. Well, how about a gun? I don't know.
Well,
Oh,
there's
wait a
one.
minute. Oh, wait a minute. I might get canceled for that one. Yep, you got to be you. And there you go. Teresa, it was now or never. Exactly. I used to say that a lot. Remember, now or never. You know, I mean, I regressed quite a bit when you first met me. I was in my regressed period, where I was like, I missed out on a lot. You know, I had kids really young, and I mean, when are you going to do it? You got to do it, like you said, now or never. I mean, why not? So how are you feeling now? What is it? How many
I mean,
days in this leap has it been?
you know, we left Saturday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What's today? Tuesday. 4 days.
All right.
Feeling really good.
Okay. There you go.
We're coming back next year.
Okay. Next year. All right. We'll get to see the next episode. The next episode. But I mean, I think that you're doing that in all of your life right now, Heather. Me being an outsider observer, you're doing that and going for your dreams, going for the vocation that you want, going for, being the motivational mentor, right? So, you had to have a shift at some point that said, I'm not happy where I'm at. I'm ready to do something that I want to do.
Yep.
I'm ready to be happy for me. I'm ready to be, I like me, I love me, and I'm ready to do something for me. I mean, why not? Oh, now your daughter.
Oh no.
Girl, she crazy.
Hey, but
it seems crazy.
Well, I did on Saturday.
What is it? Crazy is as crazy does? I don't know. Something like that.
No, it's stupid is as stupid does. But
I know. I was trying to make it a Forrest Gump thing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I think the thing is like, I think there is something about, I hit 50 and I'm like, crap, like I spent my whole life being cautious and responsible and like, let's do something different, my kid.
I mean, really, you've got 49 more years at least. I mean, look at Betty White. Okay. So she lived to 99,
Right.
I mean, 49 more years, that's a lot of years to live your life,
Yeah.
It could be I mean, we don't know. I mean, we don't know the future, but we have to have hope. We have to have that faith. We have to have a hope of better things to come. If we're not in a place where we're at right now, we need to change it. The only person that can change it is us.
Right. But if we don't know how long, isn't that all the more reason to live each day the fullest? Like,
That's
stop
right.
over everything and weighing out the options. He seems nice though. Don't think
he's a serial killer. He might like tricks and Fruit Loops. You don't know. I think. Captain Crunch. Does he like Captain Crunch? I don't know. No sweet cereal. All right. Well, then
he's sweet enough.
Ah, isn't that nice? See, we're seeing this on remote. I know. Ugh. Anyway, cheers on that. Cheers on that. You know what? I like to see people happy. And like you said, even if next week you decided it's a lesson instead of a, whatever. We don't know what's in the future. We don't. We just don't. Oh, there's your friend. Oh, listen, he seems like a Raisin Bran kind of guy. I don't know how to take that. I don't know, Caitlin. That, yeah.
I don't know either. Like, I'm like, what does that mean?
Means he maybe, I don't know. He seems like a straightforward,
Here's that I was going to tell you is that, you know about my list, and that everyone kept telling me, you're too picky. You're wanting too much. And I'm like, I'm not going to settle. If I don't find the guy that has everything on the list, then I'm just going to, that's fine. I'll just be single. And literally, aside from height, he has checked everything on my list, even the joking stuff.
Oh, that's, I
I'm
knew
gonna
that's what Caitlin
don't
was
settle
saying,
and
but I
tell
didn't want to, I didn't put words in her mouth, but that's what I thought she was meaning anyway.
yeah, we are old. It's
Well,
fine.
just because we wear glasses. Come on, Caitlin. That's not nice.
Right.
Just because there's a box of hair coloring somewhere, it doesn't mean anything. Exactly.
Oh, he likes
Hey,
Cheerios.
oh, Cheerios. See?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nuts Cheerios are the best, honestly. If you're going to do a Cheerio, that's the one. Not some of those weird cinnamon. Ugh, no.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Oh, let's see. We know. Carla said we know. I'm the old one here. I doubt it, Teresa. I don't think so. You seem like you're about our
And
age.
you'll get caught up Thursday. You'll get caught up Thursday on Facebook. Just on Thursday.
So we're seeing her leap of faith play out remotely.
Think about starting a TV show.
Oh, okay.
No.
The TV show? No TV shows.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so Caitlin, what was the leap of faith that you've taken in the last year or so? Of course, I kind of.
Apple cinnamon.
Oh, apple cinnamon. No. Ew. Oh no, I'm texting you after this.
Fair enough.
See, she was late. She missed it. You'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah.
Hashtag replay. By the way, if you're watching this later, hashtag replay. And please share our stream for us. And go like our YouTube page, by the way. So, and if you ever want to be on our show with us,
You'd be
please
brave.
reach out. Please reach out. We talk about all kinds of things. We would customize it for whatever topic that you want to come on and talk about.
That's brave.
Customize.
Topic.
Customize the topic. Hey,
Go
there's
big.
no taboo topics anymore, right?
Right.
There. Okay, here we go. Okay, got a new puppy. Oh, she got a new puppy.
Yeah, now they have two.
Bought a new house. That was scary. See, that was a leap of faith, especially in the market that just went down. You know, the market went up, that is. And then let's see. Okay, you got to go. All right. Love you.
Bye.
Peace out. Peace out. So what leap of faith have you taken lately? Or better question, what leap of faith do you want to take? What is it that what's on your bucket list next? Like what is it that you're willing to go on a limb for? You know,
What is Miss Sandy?
what is mine? Well, looking, I actually want to buy a house. That's going to be my next leap of faith is buying a property. And, you know, I mean, so far that's the only thing. And absolutely 100% going full time in my side businesses, my little side hustles. I need to do that. My leap of faith needs to be in that direction. And I've gotten a couple new clients in the last week, so I'm really happy about that. And so, you know, I just need to focus on it 100%. You know, sometimes when you have too many spinning plates, you know, you don't find the one that continues to spin because you're too busy spinning all the other ones, right? So that's my next leap of faith. You know, I'm never scared about stuff like that, though. I don't know. I've always been kind of like, hey, I'm going to move here. I'm going to move there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I love moving, which is kind of crazy. I didn't like this last move because it was arduous, but oh, there we go. Here, Caitlin's got one. Babies. Yay. That's next, huh? Mama Bear's over there.
Nana's not sure about that.
She thinks she's too young. That's her problem.
No, I'm ready whenever they're ready.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you guys are doing the things in kind of order like it goes, right? So
Yep.
I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome, Caitlin. So what about you guys, audience? What about Jim? Oh, sorry.
I think he already took his too. He brought a strange crazy woman to Texas.
Okay, well, I mean, he could have another leap of faith that's
Nana's
different than
fine.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I dogs, but
I mean, we all have a wish list of things, you know. Instead, how about moving that wish list? Take one thing on that wish list and move it into the action list. You know, what is it that you would do? What wish and hope do you have on that wish list that you could move over to the action list? And what's stopping you? If you're not doing it, why? Why? Is there something else, Heather, besides this one?
no
No?
comment.
Okay, no comment. Well, all right.
I extending this one. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think that will be on my list as well. You know, we'll go walking into that next thing when some planets align.
Hey, I was just last week living my best life.
Got to live your best life.
He said sometimes you have to move the planets yourself.
That's right. That's right. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to work on some things, though. You got some internal things you got to work on. So that's what I'm saying. You take that wish, move it to the action list, and what's stopping you? What's the obstruction? And sometimes it's working on yourself. Sometimes there's some places that need to be, shined up, right?
Yeah, I've been
My
doing
iron sharpens iron, girl. Yeah.
Yep. Right.
That's
And
right.
I've been doing a lot of shining in the last 4 years, so I'm ready.
There you go. So there you are. You're confident and you're ready, and that the confidence and that self-esteem area is, I think, number one. I'm not making some leaps of faith in some areas because I know that I need to work on something, and so that's where that is. You've got to get real. You got to introspect. So that's the point. Some people don't look at their lives at all. It amazes me. They don't break down what's going on in their own life. They let things come at them. They're ducking all the time. They're just surviving. They're just making it. They're not taking their life, into their own hands. And I believe that God has a part of that. In my foundation, God helps to guide me in those places too. It isn't just me, but I have to look at, what's going on and why. Are these curveballs for me to learn something? Are these curveballs, coming from somewhere else? And I had sometimes I've went around the same mountain because I didn't learn it the lesson the first time. Sometimes we've got to learn the lessons.
6, 7, 8.
sometimes it's however many times it takes, right? You gotta get the memo. So I'm glad that you've taken this leap because that isn't like you. And I know the audience doesn't know you totally, but I do. And I know this is out of your comfort zone. You generally wouldn't have, well, like you said earlier, you wouldn't have taken a road trip, first of all.
Especially not 12.
Exactly. She didn't even want to go to downtown Kansas City. So I'm just going to say.
To drive that far.
That was so funny. When I
Oh,
first met her, she was like, I was like, "Hey, have you done this?" She's like, "No, it's too far. I've never left this little area." I'm like, "Are you like?" And now you go down there all the time, don't you? Ha ha.
I do. And here's the funny thing, because um you know, I don't know if you knew this, but there was a rumor at Jerry's that I liked girls
Oh,
because I never have had a man in there. And so
oh,
I took him to Jerry's Thursday night.
oh,
So
to find
um,
to debunk the rumor mill.
yeah,
So if you're watching from Jerry's,
yeah, it took me 40 survival mode. I get that, Carla. 100%. I've
right.
been in mode forever.
Exactly. Sometimes that's where we're at. That's what I mean. We're just dodging things. We're just in survival mode, trying to live life. You're just trying to make it through the day. And it's because we felt defeated. We've let people take those things from us, I think sometimes. And
Right?
and things have really happened to us and impacted that. I mean, there's a reason for that. It isn't that, you know, and it's just, sometimes we have to get the healing that we need to make that happen. And that's why we're doing this show. That's why I do some of the shows is like, you know, I'm still in process. I'm still healing from things that happened, 40 years ago, which is crazy,
Yeah.
that I'm having to replay that and get healing for that, but it's making me be able to share those lessons and to share, you know, the process. Share the process, share the journey, share your story. Your story does matter. Your journey does matter if it can help just one other person, and just like leap of faith, you've done a lot of that in the last year, done a lot. So proud of you,
Yeah.
you
Thank
know?
you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that we're being authentic and we're being transparent, I mean, life isn't always, I mean, we have to share that journey together. We have to learn those lessons. And sometimes it takes a friend to remind us, you know, of where we've come from to where we are now. Sometimes it takes that, and I see this meme all the time. I look at Facebook a lot, and so about I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person you knew 10 years ago. I'm not that same person. So whatever discussion is about me, I'm not even that same person anymore.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
that's not who I am. I've evolved. We all evolve, and you have to believe that. So if I can change and I can get better and healthier, so can you. So can so can the other person. So it's really important for us to be accepting and have grace for others. Have grace for others. Somebody's done you wrong before. That doesn't mean they're going to do you wrong now. They
Mm,
could have changed. I mean, but that's where the boundaries are important. That's
right.
where the boundaries are important.
Well, it popped
Um,
up on my day that I was on your show 1 year ago today.
oh, we were talking about grief.
Yep.
Yeah. I felt for years I was in survival mode, so I turned the wheel around and focused on me. Right. I mean, and I think that that's healthy and change is a good thing. Yes. And at some point when we learn the lessons, it's important for us to turn outward. You know, I don't think it's, I always say, me and self and everything, but it's important for us to have empathy and care for others and share the journey so that they can, maybe I can help you to understand where you're at or the lesson that still is needed. So,
Yep.
yes. Look at that face. What was that face for?
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, cheers to your journey. And cheers to all of you out there that you're not in survival mode anymore. You made changes and you're working on you. You're working on your journey. But make sure that you do share your journey, share the lessons, and do help others. You know, let's see. Heather is glowing tonight.
Not the first one.
But that's what I mean. I mean, be happy. Be happy. You know? I think it's hard for us sometimes. We're like, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. Be happy. Be happy that you're happy.
I'm happy that I'm happy.
Yay. She's happy because she took the leap of faith. You know? I mean, sometimes standing in the sidelines, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yep.
Wonder if I'm talking to myself. Anyhow.
I let it go. I'm like, oh, saying. I'm like, yeah. Good advice.
Yeah. Isn't it? I'll watch it later. So anyway, you guys are awesome. You guys always join us, and I am really appreciative. You watch this, put hashtag replay, and please share the stream for us, to get, more people to join in, because it's really fun talking to you guys. I like interacting. I'm not sitting up here trying to just talk at you. I'm going to talk with you. It's a difference, Right, Miss Heather?
Yep,
Miss Heather, who said she would never ever be on video, by the way. Nope. She said that not a year ago, because she broke it a year ago
years ago when you asked me. Hell no, never gonna happen. And a year ago I was on the first time, and now we've got a show every week.
That's right. So join us next week. Who in the world knows what we're going to talk about next week? We don't even know. So thank you guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a wonderful week, everybody.
Bye, Carla. Your text.
Carla wants to know. She wants to be in the know. So, yep. Join us next week. We'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.